All right, moving on. So non-SCA insurance, that would be the insurance on your trailer. That might be insurance for your storage unit. Might be insurance to cover your regalia. I don't know. Anything you might be buying insurance for. Other expenses. This is another one where you shouldn't have anything recorded here. If you simply can't figure out where else to put it here and expect a call from me. Things can't linger here, and there's usually a better place to put it. There are times.
Rather than putting it there, maybe call Cara before she has to call you.
Well, I tell you what, if your report is going to be late, put it here, send it to me, and then we'll talk. I would rather have your report on time with a bad entry here than no report, and I'm guessing what the heck is going on. Nobody's talking to me. They don't love me anymore. So, you know, if you just can't figure it out, you're running out of time, throw it in here. We'll discuss it later. Donations to the SCA Inc. subsidiaries and other 501c3 nonprofits. There are groups that support their local Boy Scouts. You know who you are. You have their tax ID numbers. You're doing the things all right. Keep doing that. If you want to send money to Penzic because they've, I don't know, lost their cash box, whatever, that's where this donation would go. You would enter it here. They've given us a lot of room for these donations, and I almost never see any entries here, maybe one or two, but they give you lots of room. So again, if you want to make a donation to another nonprofit, you do need their their federal ID number. And really that's about all you need, but give me a heads up if it's a new thing for your group, and we'll make sure that it's all registered correctly. This tab is for your financial committee. This drop down here at the top of the page is an important one. You need to tell me how your group usually works. And this has come in very handy when I get a call from an irate member of your group and they're unhappy about a financial decision that was made and they didn't listen, you didn't listen to their opinion and they're very angry. I can go here and say, well, you're not a part of the financial committee because your group doesn't include everyone who's a member. So back me up here and tell me who your financial committee is. If it's everybody in your branch who is a member, I need to know that when I'm talking to angry people on the phone. Check the box, because I do go here and check when I've got somebody screaming in my ear. Tell me who's on your committee. And then I can guide them on how to get a solution to their problem. Whether it's you have to go talk to the financial committee or you are a member of the financial committee. So please do me a favor and make a selection here. I do not recommend you include everyone in the branch. That is a nightmare and you're setting yourself up for failure.
You can, rather than actually including everybody as the financial committee, you can actually have the financial committee, you can still solicit opinions at a council meeting from the general populace. And then the financial committee is still the end all be all of the decision. Correct. And that way people feel involved, but you're not dealing with the nightmare.
But they feel that they are a member. And I need to be able to back up what the group has decided. I need to know what you have decided. And this is the only way without tracking somebody down while I've got someone screaming at me, this is the only way I have of checking. So please do me a favor, fill this in, tell me who your financial committee is so that I can help them.
Yeah, my comment was just on the how to make the populace feel involved without actually giving them that power.
Right. But no matter how much you tell them, sometimes they feel like they know that they should be a member. So yes, there's a lot of ways to handle this. So, but please, on my part, tell me. So you have to have your seneschal, you have to have your exchequer, and you have to have one additional person. That additional entity can be your baron and baroness as a divided vote or as a companion vote. It can be any trusted member in your group. Anybody you agree on. They must be a current membership. We have to know the expiration date. This is checked. But there must be 3 people on your financial committee. There must be 3 votes. There we go. That's a better statement. There must be 3 votes on your financial committee. So it can be 3 people or it can be 4. It can be more. If you want to include 3 or 4 more people, I recommend an uneven number. I recommend you keep it reasonable because that unanimous vote thing is going to get difficult in the future. So just kind of keep those things in mind. It should be someone who travels, goes to your events, comes to your council meetings, shows up and contributes, not someone that you have to track down and hope to find and so on and so forth. To pass a vote of the financial committee per kingdom financial policy, a simple 2/3 majority is required unless it's an emergency. Then it's unanimous. Remember that change to kingdom financial policy. Okay, moving on. Funds. We talked about dedicated funds earlier. You must have a policy in place. No new funds unless we have a policy, please. This page must balance. Newsletter is kind of a dinosaur. No one does newsletters anymore. I don't know any active branches that do newsletters anymore. I don't know why they keep insisting on keeping this page. I guess maybe somebody might do a newsletter again someday. Comments. If you have something you want me to see, I always read the comments page. I go and look every time I receive your report and I review it. After the deadline for new reports, it takes me several weeks to get through them all, especially in times like we have had recently when there's a lot of other stuff going on, like 2 new registration systems rolling out, new kingdom financial policy, new war financial policy. Things have been delayed, but I do read your comments. So if there's something you want me to see, enter it here. If you've made a wacky entry someplace else in the report, I'm going to come here and look and see if you made a comment about it. Because a couple of times I've seen something and gone, what the heck are they trying to do? And I come here and you've made a comment and I'm like, okay, we're good. I get it now. So if something's weird, just make a comment. I do come and read it. If you think things are being handled poorly, if you want something, if you have an explanation, whatever, I read these. Okay, so and then we get to the free form. So this is the free form, just an empty spreadsheet page on the standard report. If you want the version with the built-in check register or general ledger, I'm happy to provide that for you. It is going to be uploaded on the Kingdom website. It is already available on Teams. Again, especially for people who do not have an accounting background, I highly recommend the version with the built-in check register because I'm going to show it to you all real quick. Have you all seen it? Thumbs up if you've seen the one with the built-in. No, all right, I'm going to show it. Bear with me.
I've just been using Quicken, but heck, if it's another tool and I can incorporate it, it'd be good.
I need to have a conversation with you
Why?
because the society is moving over towards using Quicken and QuickBook and authorizing its use.
Oh. Have I been doing it wrong by using it?
No, because
Oh.
you submit the report form. You transfer the information into the regular report form, which is A-OK.
Okay.
Well, rats, I'm not doing it right. Bear with me.
Okay. It's just Quicken's pretty much.
Open it first and then share.
It is open.
You could go to Gildenholtz. We have it.
Let's see what I got here.
Yeah.
This is the wrong one.
Oh. You may have to close that one.
I think I got it now. Yay. Okay. So this is the medium size version 6. And I'm going to go to the freeform tab. And you can see here across the top, beginning account total. Again, using this takes a little bit of extra training, and this is a blank version, but it really helps out. And I'm going to show you what all is involved on this freeform tab. I'm going to zoom way out. You can see all the data. And this section here is for your committee votes, financial committee votes. And this is all data that makes this work. So you go in here and you enter what our dedicated fund is, the name of your dedicated fund. And it populates and tracks on the funds page. So you can see here, here's your financial committee votes. You can just log them. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to say I'm entering. Let me blow this up a little more here. I'm going to write a check to vendor, my check number, the date I wrote the check, the date it cleared my bank statement. It's not a deposit, it's a withdrawal. I want that to come out of my general ledger, my general fund. So if I had a fund for archery or for the new pavilion we want to buy, I could choose those funds. And the memo is where does it go on the report? So I'm going to make this a general supply for fundraising. Okay. Now, if I go back, there's my $50.
Oh,
Under general supplies, fundraising, there's the $50 I just sent to Fred. And that filled in a field for me. Now, the problem is, it's not a perfect system. There are certain fields it can't complete for us. For instance, the interest earned on any CDs or savings, you have to enter that by hand. Even though you've entered it in the general ledger, it cannot bring it forward.
huh.
So that's a field you have to enter by hand. But for most of these entries on your expense and on your income, it will fill it in for you, which is really brilliant. And it helps with the primary account. If I had entered all of my banking information and entered the check properly and done everything, see, right now it shows me I'm $50 out of balance.
Right.
It's because I haven't entered any of my bank information. So if I have entered everything correctly in the report, this will balance. My balance sheet will balance. My funds page will balance. Where it breaks down is if I enter a whole handful of entries and something doesn't balance, then I have to kind of go back and figure out one by one, where did I mess up? Did I forget to put it on the transfer page? Did I, if I do it one by one, each entry, then I go and check the beginning, my primary account balances, my balance sheet balances, I'm good to go. Now I can go back to my free form page, enter my next transaction, go and check everything. If it's all balanced, I can go back. Again, this is great for people who struggle with accounting and finding mistakes. If you do them one at a time, then you'll find your mistake. You'll realize, oh shoot, that's a transfer. I have to go add it to the transfer page. And then everything, bing, everything turns green and it balances.
Oh,
So it's a helpful tool if you're at that level. I use it and I understand banking and accounting, but it really forces me to be careful and catch every transaction. So I recommend it. Right now, the only version that this built-in general ledger is available for is the medium-sized document. The large version 6 report form is broken. Society is fixing it. As soon as I get it back, I will attach the built-in ledger. You get to choose which version, excuse me, you must use version 6. You get to choose whether you use the built-in ledger or not, what size you use, but you must use version 6. Is that all clear as mud? Okay, if you understand what you're doing with the report form, the built-in ledger may be just slowing you down. It's like working in the mud. Don't do it. If you understand what you're doing and you can move forward without it, find your mistakes without it, that's awesome. But it's a tool to help some. I like it because everything's in one place. I don't have to have a separate general ledger and report form and, lots of tabs and stuff. So, alrighty. So when naming your reports, when you're saving it, as I mentioned before, make sure you choose the correct file extension at the end. XLSM will keep all the macros functional and in place and current. Please include in the name the quarter of the report you're submitting, the year of the report you're submitting, your branch name. It really doesn't matter what order you put them in. But those items must be included. Everything that I move over from the Caid report filing tool, I have to rename because it adds 56 letters of gobbledygook, and I don't want to deal with all that. So my format is month 01 or 12 or whatever, 2-digit month, 3-digit month title. So MAR for March, APR for April, branch name, year. That's all of your reports that I have moved over to Teams. That's how they're filed. And that way the system puts them in order for me. So January, February, March will all be in order. If you need to make a change, changes are expected in accounting. We always have to go back and make changes. Don't rewrite the old document. Upload a revision. So simply add Rev 1, Rev 2 to the end of the name. Let me know that you've revised something. Don't wipe out the first one. Add an additional one. And send me a note. If I have already uploaded your information to the consolidated report to society at the end of the year, and then you submit a revision, I've got to know to go back and pick up your revised information. Send me a note if you upload a revision. Revisions are great. I have no problem with revisions. I like it if you add your initials, so that if I've made a revision, it's going to be CZ. If you've made a revision, your initials are there. So that helps me know who made the revision. If I fixed something, then you'll know I did it. All bank statements for each month must be reconciled and signed by the Exchequer. Those get forwarded to society level. They are viewed. Do me a favor.
It's not the Exchequer and the Seneschal. I'm sorry.
Every month must be signed by the Exchequer. Quarter end must be signed by the Seneschal and the Exchequer.
Oh,
Thank you.
order. Okay.
Every quarter. And I'm not going to beat anybody up, but it really covers your backside to know that somebody else in the group has seen the numbers and understands what you did. I highly recommend that you make your books open and visible and upfront with everyone. Make sure your Seneschal has seen them and signed them. Digital signatures are acceptable during COVID shutdown. Year end, it is mandatory that you get your Seneschal's signatures. Quarters, very important. Your signature must appear on reconciled bank statements monthly. I want to know you took a pencil to the bank statement and figured it out and balanced it to your report.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
When I was Exchequer before, I was taking the front of the bank statement and inserting the reconciliation on the front in an open space. But then the Exchequer that followed me, they were told that they weren't allowed to do that.
Oh,
And
okay.
I had to do a separate page. Is that okay that I can, because I can embed that piece, that little thing right on the front page. I mean, it was just simple to type.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not my favorite option.
What would you prefer? I mean, I can always also attach the reconciliation page off the report, because I always reconcile it to the report every month.
Right.
The end
Well,
of the quarter is simple, but
yeah. Usually most bank statements come with a reconciliation page.
Bank of America doesn't give us one, that's why.
Okay. The society also provides a form that's simply a reconciliation page. You could make your own little Word document or something
Attach it to the back.
and attach it to the back. Yeah,
Okay,
that's great.
fine. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure what was required at this time, because I know
Yeah.
things change frequently.
That makes it easiest on me. An extra page is not a concern,
Okay,
but having it muddle up the actual bank statement
Yeah.
can get kind of muddy.
yeah,
So yeah,
thank you.
you bet. But I do really want to see those reconciled. I want to know that you've looked at them, and I know right now there's nothing to hardly reconcile. We have a few bank fees, and that's about it for months and months and months. Oh, that's another thing. We have gotten some banks that are saying, look, your account is inactive, we're going to close it. So if you get something like that from your bank, make a minuscule deposit, deposit $1 or 50 cents or something, just to keep your account open. But we have seen a couple of instances of that. Accounts that don't earn interest, especially that have just sat for 15 months now. The banks are threatening to close the accounts for inactivity. So just be aware. If you get a notice, make sure your bank is considering you active. Okay, just a reminder that your fourth quarter report and your doomsday report or year end are the same report. The only difference is the doomsday has your signatures on it. The numbers are the same, but it just includes all the signatures needed. So get your fourth quarter report filed on time. Get the signatures as soon as you can. Don't hold your report for lack of signatures. Get it turned in and we'll work out the signatures. But those signatures are important. Don't let them delay you. So first quarter reports are due April 30th. Second quarter reports are due July 30th. Third, October 31st. And fourth, January 31st. And doomsday, February 15th. So gives you quite a bit of time to get all those signatures, make sure everything is in balance. And going forward, I will be removing your event from the Kingdom calendar if your reports aren't filed. I know that's been kind of a crappy thing to do, but unfortunately, drastic times require drastic measures. So make sure that you're filing or contacting me or letting me know you're alive and that you're doing your thing so that we can continue to function. So the quarterly reports include tabs 1, 2A, 2B, 3, and 4. It also includes a copy of the bank statement for the 3 months that are included in that quarter that are reconciled. It also includes a copy of your general ledger or check register. I have accepted photocopies of the check register, checkbook check register, rather than be late. I appreciate that. I prefer something a little more elaborate, but I'll take what I can get. Also, any variances that you've get granted, a copy of the variance. That way I know that we're both on the same page, we're both talking about the same thing. So year-end doomsday must include tabs 1, 2A, 2B, 3, and 4 of the standard report form. None of this has changed. This is all the way it's always been. They must be properly completed. They must balance. They must be signed. A copy of all of the bank statements for the year, if they are not already on file. By this time, they should all be there. All of the statements must be reconciled. A copy of your general ledger or check register that balances to your report for the year. A copy of any letters from the kingdom that discuss variances. Okay, that makes sense? None of that's new. That's the same as it's always been. So when your report is late to kingdom, your SCARS privileges and PayPal privileges will be pulled, and any events you have on the kingdom calendar will be pulled. Of course, this is after discussion. I do everything in my power to reach out and contact branches, all officers, to find out what's going on before I do anything so drastic. But that's what could possibly happen. Your late reports at the end of the year delay the consolidated reports that I have to turn into society, and they will suspend our privileges for all registration, electronic registration, and events. So please don't do that to the rest of the kingdom. If you completed your reports in Excel, please do not convert them to PDF. Keep them in Excel and send me the digital report. That way I don't have to transfer it back into Excel, which I do. I have to submit it in Excel, so please don't make me convert it back. Saving it as PDF doesn't help anybody. If you need to convert it to PDF to get signatures, that's fine. You can submit the digital Excel file and then send or submit or upload the PDF versions that show the signatures. That's what most groups are doing. They've been scanned. You can use CamScan, whatever it takes. If you can't put a digital signature on the Excel file, then print a PDF, sign it, scan it, send it in. All right, everybody, I think that's everything. We have gone through a mountain of information. Oh, as a reminder for backups, 7 years, keep everything for 7 years. After 7 years, destroy the information. Either shred it or burn it. Do not just dump it in a dumpster. It's important to have an offsite backup of some kind. Teams is out there. The website portal is out there. If you have problems using any of that, let me know. I'll help you. But I think that's everything. We got through 2 days worth of work in 1 day. I am so pleased.
I just wanted to add that there is a question for you in the chat. I believe the answer is correct, but I don't want to assume.
All right, I will stop sharing. Will the automated ledger on the free form fill the ledger requirement? Absolutely. That is exactly what it's for.
All right.
I love it when it's all one document and I don't have to go looking for extra documents.
And I really don't mind double entering, you know, from the register to that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Oh.
You can also probably import that information directly.
Into Excel?
Mhm.
Yeah, you could. However, going forward, I believe we're not far away from the society accepting Quicken and QuickBooks reports as they are. We don't have to transfer into the Excel document. Right
Okay.
now, Kingdom is reporting via QuickBooks and the Excel, so I'm doing double entry, but I'm very certain that's going to go away very soon. And
Okay.
any group that either has a copy of Quicken or QuickBooks, or who would like to pay for a copy, will be approved. And those reports that that QuickBooks generates will be accepted as an official report. That is not the case right now, but I don't think we're very far away from
Okay.
that happening for all groups.
And
So.
Quicken actually is, for what I do, it's fairly cheap. I mean, I haven't upgraded it for a couple of years because I don't need any more than what I'm working with. So as long as that, it doesn't matter what version, as long as it transfers, that's fine, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I believe Quicken will export a file that then I can use on my end to complete my reports.
Okay.
But again, more information will be released when that happens. The SCA is trying to come into the 21st century with all of their financial.
It really
Another thing that the society is talking about is electronic funds transfers. So that, yeah, woohoo. So that all these transfers will be less of a headache. We can simply tell the bank, send the kingdom $50 and boom. It happens instantaneously. We don't have to wait for a lost check and deposits and all this stuff going on. Again, that will be a privilege that groups will earn by keeping reporting current and so on and so forth. But for large payments and stuff that we make, electronic funds transfers would be just brilliant. And I can't wait. I think that will be marvelous. I'll get that we can't hear you. I can see you saying something, but I can't hear you.
I was just explaining. I'm happy. Okay. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be amazing. It would cut
Wow.
down on a lot of work.
So much less headache.
So
well, I felt bad. Like one time I got a check, you know, from somewhere. I think it was Great Western, and because I had moved, they had my old address. And oh my gosh, these poor people, they've been waiting for me to deposit this to close out their stuff.
yeah.
So actually, just as an add-on, if you move, if you need to update your email address, phone number, whatnot, which Cara Gwen, I need your updated phone number. Yes, I do. So if you wouldn't mind messaging it to me, that would be fantastic. But get me updated information. You can be proactive. If you're renewing your membership card, I would love it if you just take a photograph and send it to me without my going, oh crap, I don't have your updated expiration date. Okay. So yeah, feel free to bug me anytime by giving me updated information. Okay. Because otherwise, unfortunately, I will go track you down.
Well, going forward, it's going to be very important that we make sure our contact information with the society is updated and current, because the more registration happens through the online portal, the more critical that becomes, so that we can track people down. The emergency contact information, I was surprised to learn that the corporate offices get emergency phone calls during wars. Trying to find loved ones who might be on site. And I was surprised how often it happened. So it may seem kind of annoying that you have to enter it every time for every member, but apparently it's very useful to your loved ones who are at home, who can't go to the event and are trying to reach you at an event. They will pass that information on to us, and we will try and reach you on site. So that's kind of useful. Be sure to keep that updated when you're registering for events and updating your membership information. So I will be in touch with more of the reports that we talked about, the forms, dates, decisions, all these things. Please, please be as flexible as you can and understanding that things are happening at lightning speed on a lot of different fronts, and we get to them as quickly as we can. If you feel like I should have made something available to everyone and I don't seem to be getting back to the group, call me out on it, give me a message, pop me out. I check Facebook. I take texts on my phone. I make my phone number available on all my messages. I'm here to help and answer questions. So anything I can do to help. And how about we all get out of here and stop staring at this box? Let's get up and move around. Hey, I'm glad it's over. So, oh, one more question. Go ahead. You're muted. You owe us a cocktail. Aiden, did you have a question? You're still muted. There we go.
There we go. I just, the one thing I was thinking, it's hard for me to get down south a lot of times. And I kind of like this with the Zoom, where once in a great while, whether it's once a year or something, I can, we can do something like this, just so we can get together and I can be on the same page for everybody or anything new. It makes there are some advantages of Zoom meetings in some cases.
I agree. And I've asked a couple of times on Facebook, if anyone is interested. I haven't gotten a lot of feedback, positive feedback about doing these. We do a half an hour, 20 minutes and talk about a particular subject, but not a lot of people seem to be interested.
Okay.
So it's certainly something I'm very willing to talk about. It would make my job a ton easier if we could do these regularly, and it wouldn't take half a day or an all day
Right.
get together to discuss new changes. It would certainly be helpful for me. Perfectly willing to do them. Does anybody else have any input there?
On that, I honestly expect that as in-person events start taking place, people will be more receptive to meetings on Zoom because they're going to be a little less burnt out about them.
Yeah.
But
That's
honestly,
true.
I think it's a tool. Even though Caid's landmass is not as large, it can still take a while to travel from Calafia up to Nordvaca or Caraguen.
Mhm.
So it is still being able to meet on the internet definitely has its advantages. But
Yes.
other than that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
All right.